Hey everyone, it's Devin. I'm back with another Board Game Co. preview. This is not a paid preview, but it's a preview all the same, as I am giving you some coverage of an upcoming game on Kickstarter. This is Passengers from Fablesmith. This is designed by Joost Das, and this is someone who I'm friends with, and I really wanted to share the project that he has brought to fruition. I think it's a really charming and delightful little game, and I had the pleasure of playing it recently, and I wanted to go ahead and show it to you. And this is the back of the inside of the box lid. I don't know why I'm showing that. This is what you should be looking at, but I'm getting distracted by all of the shiny here on the table. So let's go ahead and get a better look at what Passengers is bringing us. This is a social deduction game for 4 to 8 players. It's going to take about 45 minutes, and it is over the course of 3 rounds, and the social deduction side of it has to do with what loyalty you have in terms of the passengers that you are trying to bring from where they are in their lost or not settled state over to the Afterlands, where they will remain in the great beyond, where whatever you want to assign the terminology to this. We are ferrying people on boats, whether it's a raven or a wolf boat. We are taking these passengers, whether they are souls or whether they are demons. Let's get into how the game works. So, this is Passengers, 4 to 8 players. You've got 3 rounds that you're going to be playing. You have the first round here, and then you have the second round, and then after you finish that, you'll proceed to the third round. In each round, what you're going to be doing is the players are going to be using the souls and the demons that are in their hand, and they are going to place them on the boat, take the voices, which are your votes, and then they are also going to take whatever the accompanying gift is, which in this spot is the vapors. There are 3 rounds, and there are 3 parts to each round: placing your passengers, playing your gifts, and then voting on which boat you want to go to the Afterlands. This boat in the first round is already there. You can't mess with this at all. These passengers are locked in. However, you can possibly alter the state of events or glean some information that you might not have had previously based on where other people have placed their passengers and the votes that they received, the gifts that they are using. When I say that this is a social deduction game, it is because you don't know what team everybody else is on. You have souls and you have demons. These are the 2 types of passengers. However, each person has some of both types in their hands. You're only going to have 3 cards across the entire game. You have your faction card, which is whatever you start with. This particular hand has to have started with a demon card because there are 2 of them in hand. And then other than your faction card, you're going to be given 1 of each card type, a passenger, 1 of each passenger type, a soul and a demon. So this hand belongs to a demon smuggler because they have 2 demons instead of 2 souls. If somebody's hand consisted of 2 souls and a demon, they would be a loyal soul guide that is trying to get the souls to the Afterlands. So it all depends upon what your hand is composed of at the beginning of the game, and also a matter of when you want to be playing the cards that you have, because you have cards in your hand that are detrimental to what you want. You do not want souls if you are a demon guide or a demon smuggler. You want demons. And if you are a soul guide, you don't want demons, but you do have to deal with the consequences of the card that you play. And only 1 boat from every round can go to the Afterlands. In the first round, the wolf boat is the one that went to the Afterlands. But possibly by the end of this round, if players maybe have a better idea of what is on each boat, then maybe they're going to be more suspicious of the wolf boat. It's got a lot more souls on it, or passengers. So maybe some of these passengers are good souls, but maybe some of them are bad demons. And if there are enough demons on the boat, then it's much more advantageous for the demon smugglers to try to send the wolf boat to the Afterlands, which means that's probably where they're going to be pushing their voices, their votes at the end of the round. As I mentioned, there are 3 parts to every round: placing a passenger, in which you will receive your voices and your gift. Then there's playing the gifts, which you will do in ascending numerical order, so from 0 to 9. And once players have played their turn, it's on to the next, and you proceed. Only a few of these can actually alter the state of events. For example, the water lily allows you to give up one of your voices or one of your votes to another player, and they have to reveal their passenger in play. Or the scroll allows you to switch any two positions of passengers that are in play. So that is a way to maybe circumvent what you think might be the nefarious purposes of the demon smugglers, or if you're on the demon smuggler team, it might be a calculated plan to try to get a better setup on whatever boat you hope or you plan is going to be the one to go through. This is a social deduction game because you don't know what the other opponents are doing necessarily, and that is the purpose of the gifts. The purpose of the gifts allows you to get a little bit of insight, get a little bit of knowledge into what they're doing. Maybe someone said that they placed a demon here, and so they're trying to make it sound like they don't want you to put this boat forward because they say, I put a demon there, we don't want that one to go to the afterlife. But if that player is a demon smuggler, maybe they're trying to get rid of their soul that they don't want to proceed or pass on to the Afterlands, at which point you could potentially peek at it using the Hamsa hand or learn some other form of knowledge or some other form of information that either has been shared and you're clarifying it or checking out that that is confirmed and that's valid information, or it's kind of negative information where if you look at someone's hand and they have a demon in hand, maybe if you have the lantern and they show you a demon, and then somebody else reveals another card that that player played and it's a demon, you know that because that player has a demon in hand and has also played a demon, they must be on the demon smuggler side. But even if someone determines what you are, that doesn't mean that you're caught red-handed and you can't do anything. The way that the game scores, you're actually still able to go along with events and maximize the value of what you're placing. So in this game, whenever you're in the Afterlands, the first boat goes at the bottom, and then whichever boat you decide to send to the Afterlands actually goes on top. And then the third one, with whatever passengers that it has voted on, will also go to the top. And so then you need to determine what is the best scoring potential, because if you flip all of these, souls score based off of the types or the colors of souls that are on a particular boat. So this is a very demon-heavy boat, and it's going to do very well for demons, but this one down here is actually pretty good for the souls, until of course you reveal this blue demon that was made green by a mask. So the way that souls score is there's 1 point per soul, and then you get bonus points for every extra soul of a certain color on the boat. So because there's 2 green, they each give a point, as does the red soul, but then these 2 green give 1 extra bonus point collectively because there's 2 green on the boat. If this soul had been green, like this right here, then this particular soul would have added another bonus. So it would have been 1, 2, 3, plus 2 bonus points for having 3 of one type on the boat. And subsequently, if you had all 4 passengers of one color, that would be 3 bonus points, which means you'd get 7 points for 1 boat, which is a lot. So if we keep this scoring pattern right here, the souls scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bonus, or with the bonus points. So this is 5 points for the souls right here. And then the demons scored for themselves and also any adjacent soul of the same color. So because of this green mask here, which is played based off of that, you actually have a green demon next to 2 green souls, which means that this boat is 1, 2, 3 points total for the demons. So you have 5 points for the souls, and then you have 3 points for the demons. But then this boat up here scores a lot more for demons. It scores 1, 2, 3 for all of the demons, and then demons score adjacently up and down as well. So this demon would score an extra bonus point for this soul, and this demon would score an extra point for this soul. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points for the demon to bring them up to 8 collectively. And then you would have just 1 point for the soul, which would bring them up to 6 collectively. So this is a much better boat for the demons. The combination of the souls that you bring into the Afterlands and their pathing or their adjacency to whatever demons that might have been smuggled in, as well as the culmination of how all of the gifts are played and the way that you try to gain information or the way that you try to double check on what anybody has said and possibly even change things prior to the boat going to the Afterlands creates a really interesting and fun puzzle. I think that the artwork is incredibly charming. Yost did a fantastic job of crafting something that feels very accessible, but does also have a layer of strategy to it that will enable a wide variety of people to play the game. We most recently played a 7-player game with 4 adults and 3 kids aged 9 to 13, and it was a lot of fun. We had a good time with it, and the voting is also a unique place in which you can see the decision space of what all the players are doing. Sometimes you will take a gift because it gives you a lot of votes. Sometimes you'll take a gift because it's a really strong gift, even if it doesn't give you a lot of votes. And then sometimes you'll take one in the middle that does a good power, but also maybe gives you 2 votes instead of 1 or 3. And then you get to the process of voting. So you have these rounds where you place your card, and then based off of the card that you played, you will then power up that gift that's from that spot. And the last thing is the vote itself. So if, for example, you had divined through the use of gifts that this boat had a lot of demons on it, and you were pretty sure that this was the composition, and you know that that's going to give a really big swing of points to the demon smugglers, you might really heavily push for this Raven boat, even if you're less sure of what's in there. If you're more sure that there's 2 or more demons here, then this is only going to be as bad, and it could possibly be much better depending on what cards you were able to put in. And so sometimes if you're able to get enough votes, then you can make sure that you overturn whoever has voted for the wolf boat. Maybe you can overpower that and get the Raven boat pushed through. The master coin at the end there, that is the breaker for ties, and it doesn't have any other ability. So if you want to try to break a tie, you can get this coin if you think it's going to be valuable. And so the combination of where you place your passengers, whether they're souls or demons, where or what type of gift you want to get, and also the number of votes that you're going to have, all create this really interesting kind of decision space or puzzle that you have to untangle. And also the entire time you're doing it, you're trying to evaluate the motives of the players around the table with you. So maybe if we were able to collectively vote this one through, maybe it would ultimately be much better for the souls. And this is much better for the souls. As you can see, there's 2 souls, there's not any demons, and even though this would typically give adjacency points to this blue demon, they've been made green by this mask, so it doesn't give any points to the demons, and so that's a much better play. But sometimes it's a question of how much information can you uncover throughout the process of activating all of those gifts. This is Passengers. I think it's delightfully crafted. I think it's beautifully made. And I think that Yost has done a wonderful job of creating a very colorful, very vibrant world that makes a social deduction game quite enjoyable for a wide variety of players. And it's not as intense or as, I think, targeted as a lot of social deduction games that are very much predicated on the idea of having stronger personalities kind of take over the table a little bit. This is very easy for all personality types to sit comfortably, casually at the table and play a game where even if they are on the demon smuggler side, they have a lot of options in front of them to delay that information getting out, to obscure it entirely, or to play brazenly into that pattern to try to kind of disrupt what the other players are doing and confuse them or frustrate them in a satisfying way. It's a really good game. This is Passengers from Fablesmith, coming to Kickstarter soon. This has been another Board Game Co. preview. I hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you next time. Bye.